I'm Cody Small, Creative Director of Caava Design. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite projects, Talitha Coffee. This is the output right here. Just want to show that before we kind of dive into things. Beautiful bag, really fun packaging and design opportunity. So what's special about Talitha Coffee is they have a purpose behind what they do. It's not just about roasting coffee beans. It's about providing hope to survivors of human trafficking. And so their business model actually revolves around um, helping survivors of human trafficking learn a trade through coffee roasting, and it's really an incredible organization. It started in San Diego, previously known as Virtuoso Coffee, and then they came along with another Northern California company called Talitha Coffee and blended into one company, repositioning themselves to take on this new initiative of social good and making the best coffee in San Diego. So they approached us for a brand redesign and overhaul. Um, there was an important challenge to figure out how do we represent the company's new mission and theme, and also make this fresh and appealing to consumers. So let's dive into the expression of the brand here. So we wanted to create something that was feminine, bold, but also playful and full of youth. So we wanted to balance the idea of more structure with the coffee and the mark, which you'll see in a second, with a more sweeping script style font here, which is a custom font we created that gives lots of life, and there's a nice playfulness to it, as you can see. And then the supporting mark, which basically served as kind of the badge for Talitha, was built around geometric structure and growth. The rose, as you can see, is reinforcing that aspect of it. Really cool. The tagline "Hope Roasted." We didn't coin that. Actually, an associate that we were working with decided that was a perfect name for it, which we all agree. Um, it it really encapsulated what Talitha Coffee was going for, which is providing hope to those that they're helping, and then also those who are participating in the cause, and then showing how we can blend those two together, a nice balance between structure and kind of this wistful playfulness. And you can see the structure here, very nice and balanced. So this comes next to probably the most important graphic of the entire project. Um, the folks over at Talitha Coffee wanted there to be a physical illustration or embodiment of who Talitha was, or who the character or the archetype of Talitha was. And due to the sensitive nature of the issue that they're fighting, basically human sex trafficking, it was an interesting problem, because how do you represent that in a graphic in a way that is positive and uplifting? So we had this idea of new beginnings and new growth, and rolled that into the very iconic Victorian style silhouettes that you probably see at Disneyland when you go there, and you can get your child's silhouette drawn by one of the artists there. Um, it's a nod to America's pastime and creativity, and there's a lot of fun imbued into that. And we wanted to take that concept and roll it into this idea of new growth. And because it could be a silhouette, it could really be anybody. It could be any woman. There was no ethnicity we had to really worry about. It was very open-ended, and it's this kind of for all women, for all people. So the along with the flower and the vines and explosion of color. We wanted things to feel lighthearted and uplifting. And so she kind of became the mascot for Talitha Coffee. And you'll see throughout the presentation, she really does live everywhere nicely. So the story, why the name Talitha, it actually comes from the Bible, from Mark chapter 5:41. And basically, the story is Jesus was speaking to people in a town of Jairus, and he overheard some people saying that some local townsfolk, their daughter had just passed away. She was 12 years old, and they were overwhelmed with grief about it. And so Jesus went to the home of this child that had passed away, and it says this in Mark chapter 40. After he put them all out, he took the child's father and mother and disciples who were with him and went where the child was. He took her by the hand and he said to her, Talitha cum, which means little girl, I say to you, get up. Immediately the girl stood up and began to walk around. She was 12 years old, and they were all completely astonished. So that's a really important part of their mission statement, and we wanted to bring that life into the design of this coffee company. So a lot of interesting challenges and themes to kind of boil down into a single package. But this came out just wonderfully, and we're very thrilled with it. So you can see the colors are very vibrant, very positive and uplifting. And then the bag, we wanted to design this bag to really, really stand out and own the shelf. Our philosophy when it comes to creating packaging design is first we look to see what everybody else is doing, and then we decide to do something different because we want to be able to differentiate our clients' products from other things that are on the shelf. At the time when we were putting this brand presentation together, a lot of coffee bags are brown or really dark or very busy. And so we wanted to imagine a stack of these lined up on a shelf, basically creating a giant billboard for Talitha. And the white would contrast really nicely with the other more dark packaging design options that are out there. So it allowed also from a hierarchical standpoint, Talitha Coffee to be the first focal point of where you land there. And then the secondary information about the coffee itself. And as you can see, we worked in our Talitha into the side of the bags, which just creates a really nice pop of color in differentiating between the white sides. So really, really great outcome there. I couldn't be happier with it. And it ended up performing incredibly well on retail shelves, which we'll get into in a second here. So showing further extrapolation of how the brand works in many different areas, signage to aprons. This cup design ended up being really iconic for them. And you can see here in a moment here, van, simple website. It's keeping it very, very simple and color forward and feeling like a fresh, bright, and vibrant experience. And you can see our Talitha living throughout many different applications. So the launch, they went from one location in San Diego to I believe they're at 4 or 5 now. They've grown like crazy, which is just fantastic. And in some very prominent parts of San Diego, Liberty Station has a location. They have one over in I think Claremont Valley. And there's a few new mall locations that are opening as well. But as you can see, the identity really translated well. And you can see kind of up here on the right-hand corner, the 2-pound bag, how the identity strategy translates to that bag really well. You can see it from a distance. There's a lot of vibrance and positive movement in it. And let's scroll down here. You can see our Talitha there as a mural on the side. There was just so many, there's endless application for how this identity could stretch over many different um, applications. And what was the really the best part about it is the good that they were doing and the jobs that they were providing and the purpose they were providing to people who have survived horrific things in their lives. And so it overall just an extremely big, extremely great honor to be a part of it and create something that can make a difference in people's lives. And the design was a lot of fun to create along the way. You can see some of it. I think this one is over in Little Italy. I could be mistaken though. But yeah, it looks great on the shelves. Very vibrant. And icing on the cake is we ended up getting a gold award at the American Advertising Awards back in 2024. So that ended up being a really nice uh, end to the whole project. But anyways, thanks for walking through this with me. I enjoyed talking about it, trying to get faster at these as I go along and not waffle on too much. But thanks for following Caava Design. And if you're in San Diego, go check out Talitha Coffee.